What up, everybody? Scuff D here, and it is Friday, October 9th. We have got some game updates happening. We've got some updates in the community, too. We're going to talk about that in just a little sec. But first, let's get into it. Game updates. These have been hotly anticipated. Well, at least one has. The rest kind of are like, where did that come from? First off, let's just do a quick little check up on the new event, The Path of Heaven. Pathway of Heaven, by the way. Great book. Surprisingly a good book with White Scars and Emperor's Children. Looking forward to this event. Should be really fun. We've got balance changes. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Ogre Sergeant. Just did a video on that guy. What has gone on? And then we've got some release notes here, and those are on the Discord. So, oh, this is the new, look at that. Look at this background for opening crates. That's sexy. I like that. Okay, cool. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got with our event crates. Okay, wow, okay. I'll take a legendary. I probably shouldn't be opening crates and should just be talking about the game updates. You can go ahead and fast forward through all this if you want. Maybe I will too. I'm kind of curious, though, to see what I'm getting at. I really like this background. This is one of those updates. I guess while we're talking about it, we should talk about some of the changes that they've made. Starting yesterday, they did a quick little patch, it looks like. I'm going to be looking up at Discord here, kind of showing up in it. So it looks like they showed card descriptions by default when choosing cards in battle. So that's nice, so you don't have to toggle that. It's going to tell you what that card does when you generate it. Speed up the timer and highlight end turn buttons when a player has no actions left in a turn. That's good. New background when opening crates. We're seeing that now. New animations when entering a higher division. So that's most likely when you're advancing from like Mars to Terra or from Prospero to Mars. Fixed targets counter in the description of some cards. I'm not sure what that means. And fixed an unintended behavior of Warp Retreat, which always drew the card returned from the deck to the deck when you only had 2 cards left. And there were some other minor bugs fixes. Now, that was the first little patch. That took place last night. That's a little minor, doesn't change anything, changes some bugs and changes some nice cosmetics. But today, we get the hotly anticipated October balance patch note. It's not massively huge, but there's some changes here that look interesting. And I really want to see what cards they're talking about here and how this is going to impact some decks and some factions. Specifically, neutrals, White Scars, and then 2 Warlords, one for Iron Hands and one for Orphans of War. So let's finish up these crates, and we got 3 more to go. No, 3 victories. We got 1 more. We got the event crate to go after this. So bear with me. Let's see what we get here. Some gold. This is okay. That's a legendary. It's not the one I need. I need 1 legendary. I need what? Boy, I'll tell you, if this isn't telling you to do dreads, this is like the Dreadnought. This is like the Dreadnought crate here. Look at that. You got Venerable Dread. You got the Alpha Legion Dread. You got Marcellus. And then you got Branthan, who becomes a Dreadnought. If that's not a themed crate, I don't know what is. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards here that have been changed. So first off, up front, neutral, Ogre Sergeant has been changed. This is actually an improvement. This is actually a buff the way I see it. First off, after attacking, he gains frontline, which he always did. But now he gets +1/+0. And his ability now only costs 1 energy instead of 2. So if you haven't already checked out the Ogre Sergeant video I put up yesterday, give it a check out. I think he's going to be even beefier, gnarlier. He stands even a better chance against some of the warlords that are out there that were kind of one of his weakness areas. It's still going to be a weakness, but I think it's even better. So I like that. That's fantastic. Also, Colitis Assassin, she's been changed. I guess her Meros did not have the passive ability when she transformed into him. So the Reckoning, basically, she gets that back, so she'll get Meros' Reckoning. Now, Helios Mortar Carrier was recently changed. This had 7 health. It has been reduced to 6 health. Oh, okay. I don't know if it was a change that anybody really hotly wanted, but Helios Mortar Carrier is still probably one of the best commons from the single set, from the first set. With supply lines, you can get this out at 4 energy. If you're Tarvets, you can get this out at 3 energy. And it's a pretty solid card. At 7 health, it requires like a Vorax or usually a Tactic plus an attack or 2 to deal with. And if you've got a Warlord who can buff it, like Proctor or Lucretia, any of those, it's going to be problematic. Dropping its health by 1 doesn't do much to it. I mean, it takes it a little away from the threshold range. You can follow it up with like a Chariot of the Gods and like a Warlord ability that does 2 damage, like Loken. He can deal with this with 2 cards now as opposed to 3. So there is that. Same thing with Abaddon. Abaddon could use his ability and then a Seek and Destroy, and he takes care of this Helios Mortar Carrier. So there's something to be said there, but parking it behind front lines still works out very well. Buffing it still works out very well. It still has the same damage that it's doing at the end of the turn, so it's still a good card. I don't feel like it was necessary, but at the same time, I don't feel like it was a terrible hit to the card's blow. This one card used to have 3 attack and 8 health, so it's fine. It's fine where it is. Arcology. Now, Arcology did see a change, and I think this is a change that a lot of people will like. First off, at the end of your turn, you put in play a Health Infantry. That's at the end of your turn, not at the end of each player's turn, which was a huge thing because for the longest time, this was putting out a lot of troops. Even if your opponent destroyed the troop that you had generated at the end of your turn, you're still going to get a Calth Infantry at the end of their turn to still work with. So it was problematic. It was problematic, and I think the Calth Infantry that you're getting here are going to be the where are they? These guys. You're still going to get the same troop. That's not going to be any different. You're just going to get them a lot less. And then the big change for the neutral card, the one that many people have been asking for, and it is really truly grown to be a problematic. They fixed the bug regarding Warp Retreat yesterday. And today they fixed, I'm looking at the 2 energy cards. They fixed it because now Warp Retreat is 3 costs. You can still do Warp Retreat 3 times as opposed to 5 times at 10 energy, and you're still going to have decks that utilize this card to some extent. 1-turn kill Raven decks for Night Lord are still going to be able to utilize this card, but it's going to be a little bit more cost tricky to do, and there's going to be a need. It really breaks, quite frankly, it breaks the ability to easily use Drilling Sight, play the Raven, play Drilling Sight, play Warp Retreat. You can still do that, but that's all that you're going to be able to do, and you have to do it at 10 energy. You can't do it at 9 energy. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal for that deck, and I think that's a very positive fix. It doesn't kill the card. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was, and combined with the bug fix that they did, I think it's a good thing all around. I think people should be happy with this. It still leaves a lot of open options, and we may not see the end of this card as new cards are added to the pool, especially cards with strong rally effects or fast cards, whatever the case may be. But it's still a good card. Still works, doesn't work as well, and that's important, because it needed to be dialed down a notch. Now, White Scars saw a change as well. They saw several cards here change. So Jag Hall Squad, these guys here are now Rally, return a friendly troop to your hand, or you're giving +1/+0 to your Warlord this turn, and then their ability is 1 energy, return a friendly troop to your hand. So that's nice. So as a Rally, they've got that option, but they can also buff up your Warlord. So if your Warlord has got the White Tiger Dao, you can make them substantially stronger by playing troops. And I like that. I like a couple of these other changes, because I think what we're going to see here, Gabash, where are these guys at? Gabash. Gabash veterans, when a friendly troop returns to your hand or deck, deal 3 damage to a random enemy. That's nice too. It does a little bit more damage than what they did before, but it's still contingent on you've got to play them, then return a troop. So this is a higher end game play, but the damage output's nice. Gold Star Rhino heals 3 now instead of 2, so it's even stronger. So it's a good incentive to include in a deck. And then Close Quarters, which is just, where is that? That's a cheap tactic there. Close Quarters returns damage to its own hand. If it's a friendly troop, it costs 2 less. So this card gains versatility because you can bounce a card from your opponent, and you won't reduce their cost reduction, which before this was a cost reduction regardless of which player you put it on. And 9 times out of 10, you don't want to do that to your opponent's damaged troop. Well, now there's no penalty there if you use that. These cards do, specifically with the Jag Hall Squad and the Gold Star Rhino, is I think they allow for a little bit more focus with troops, specifically to the Khan build, the Jagtai Khan build. And you'll notice I don't have Jagtai Khan. I'm missing him. But he's kind of stuck in that one Warlord role, like he's mono Warlord. He still has that energy cap and that energy hamstring at the start of his turn, at the start of the game, and that's kind of going to hold him back for a little bit. I don't think we're done seeing changes here, but it's going to probably be a while before we see changes to Jagtai specifically. However, having a few of these other cards can really help foster either some protection roll, some additional healing, ways for him to deal with the larger threats right now in the game that, like a desperate defense, can really just stifle him. The White Scars took a big hit when they changed Targetized Sacrifice. And I could go on about Targetized Sacrifice. I think the card itself initially made sense. I was okay with a change to it. I think the way that they changed it, though, is pretty significant because you're dealing 2 damage to your Warlord for each enemy troop. That could be up to 12 damage just to remove, and then granted that's 6 troops, but if you're moving 6 troops to take 12 damage, maybe if you left them on board, you'd take less than 12 damage. So is it even worthwhile playing this card in certain circumstances? And that really puts a cap on how effective a mono Warlord style that Jagtai was acting at could operate. But having some troops that serve dual purposes here, returning troops to hand, as well as bolstering Warlord health and or fostering into that playstyle, I think you can see probably better Kinza and Hubukan decks. I would say more Kinza than Hubukan, just because he's already got that Ebb and Flow card. But it's very possible that we should see these cards also with Jagtai Khan. I would like to build not a troop-heavy Jagtai deck, but probably like a 50-50 Jagtai deck, and just have those troops to support him, because the White Scars have got some solid troops. They really do. And I'm not just talking about the fast bikes. Then we've got Iron Hands. Ferrus Manus gets a buff. What? Ferrus Manus? He's my challenge Warlord, so this should be interesting. He's got, for 1 energy, he creates a Bionic Enhancement in your hand. And a Bionic Enhancement, this is a new card added. This is a Legion-specific card here. I like this artwork. I like that artwork. Give +1/+1 and heal 1 to a friendly troop. So he gets a stock Lucretia ability, essentially. He gets Lucretia's ability, but he gets it in hand, which is interesting because late game you could play 3 or 4 of those on a troop, heal them up 3 or 4, plus bolster them, or you could just save it. So if your opponent doesn't kill your troop, you can buff it up. In a way, it's energy efficient because his ability before cost 2, now it costs 1, but then you have to pay 1 to put another Bionic out. So it still costs 2, but it's spread over a turn or 2. I'm very curious to see how this plays. I don't know if this is going to make him more powerful. It should, theoretically. Late game, especially if he's got 3 or 4 Bionic Enhancements in hand, that can be pretty devastating to if he were to bolster something like a Kagas or an Ancient Gorlock. It also feeds into the hammer by having those extra cards in your hand, so that's kind of cool. I like that. I also like it as a step. As a Warlord who can create this card, we have the Word Bearers who have Demon Host, and Lorgar can create Demon Host, but we also have a lot of troops who can gain Demon Host and or create Demon Host effects. So if we have this card now in the game, it's entirely possible for a later patch somewhere down the road that Iron Hands troops, 2 or 3 of them, also gain the ability to either receive one of those, create one of those, generate one of those as a regular end turn effect, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of potential there. I like that. I like that. I like expanding the potential of the game. And then we've got Orphans of War. We got just a minor change here in how Branthan operates. And Branthan before was giving was healing himself +1 and giving +0/+1 to adjacent units. For I think the last iteration was 1 energy as well. Same cost, but this is different because this is giving him +0/+1 as opposed to healing 1 himself and adjacent. So even at 0 energy or turn 1, turn 2, you can gain health as opposed to having to take health and healing. You're not healing, you're gaining health. So in the same way that 6 can gain health, Oath or Weird Make, this is actually pretty nice and helps him out in the long game. If he's facing off against a control player who's not overly aggressive, Brantha could end up with 3 or 4 or 5, 6 health over his threshold, and that's not counting if he has healing cards that he's cycling, like Pi Alpha, that he's bouncing with the help of like the Apothecary, not Veteran Kyrene, Apothecary Norn, cycling those guys around, just making him just a massive beast. So all in all, these are good changes. These are good changes. These are new changes to a lot of cards. I don't think any of these are changes that don't make sense. I think the Helios Mordecai is kind of out of left field, but it's not huge. It doesn't kill the card. It's still very useful. Again, check out the Ogre Sergeant video. Any frontline troop videos, Shapura, Duquesne, they all play nicely with Helios Morticarrier. And I think it still plays very well because, you can't flank it if it's protected, unless you've got an unstoppable flank, in which case, then that's a different game. So these are good. These are good changes. So let's talk about some quick things coming up in the community here. We've got coming up, first off, we've got Bar Night Legions is taking place tomorrow night. That's going to be going down at roughly 7:30 Central, U.S. Central Time. That's going to be fun, just a standard Bar Night Legions format. That means all B-tier stuff. Leave your high Terra stuff at the door. Have fun, kick back if you're not already on. Check it out, join Discord, sign up, hit us up, join the group. It's casual Saturday night Legions for a couple hours. We have a good time doing it, fighting for the title of Miodmeister. Now, to go with that, it is my birthday on October 23rd. Now, October 23rd is a Friday, but the Saturday following October 24th, we will be celebrating with a special Bar Night Legions format. I really hope to see a lot of players play. This format we're calling it my Scuffdy's Epic Birthday Bash Brawl for All. It's a brawl for all, but it's epic only. Epic only. What? That means all your cards, including your Warlord, have to be epic. Now that's crazy. In the event that you don't have enough epic cards, if you don't have 31 epic cards to make a deck with, as crazy as it may be, you can make a deck, but your deck has to be comprised completely of the single rarity that you choose. So if you're choosing Loken as your Warlord, all your cards have to be common. If you're choosing Numian as your Warlord, all your cards have to be rare. And if you're choosing a Primarch, well, all your cards better be legendary, buddy. Why? Because it's epic. It's epic. It's not just epic only. The whole thing is going to be epic. It's going to be crazy. I'm looking forward to seeing some crazy decks, some cards that just got thrown in because of rarity. I don't even know what I'm going to do for them. I'm going to have to check it out. I've got an idea for one faction. I'm not sure for two, but that's going to be fun. So we've got that coming up. We've also got some stuff. We got the weekly tournaments that are going on here. And we've got the Angels of Caliban. Spoilers are going to be starting soon. I don't have a date yet confirmed as far as when I'll be doing spoilers, but I will be doing spoilers for Angels of Caliban, so you can expect to see those here. And definitely check out Discord and the Facebook for Everguild for the Horus Heresy Legions game to get more news and information on that. Looking forward to that. October is going to be a good month. I'm feeling good about it. I hope we get another patch within a few weeks. I'd like to see, bi-weekly patches, minor patches. But at the same time, I think what we've got here today is still a lot to play with. And just changing that warp retreat, I really hope is beneficial and makes a lot of people feel good. And it doesn't kill the card. And it's just a good change all around. So that's it. That's what I got. That's game updates. That's community updates. We'll probably be having some more down the road, I believe. Lodge Wars 5 is supposed to be starting in November, or signups will be taking place in November. Still some news coming up on that. So once we get some official announcements and official rules, I'll be sharing that as well. And then hopefully covering as much as that as possible, because I'm looking forward to participating in this one. I think a lot of our players are. Traders End team took the first place in Lodge Wars 4. That was a huge achievement. We really enjoyed. We had some solid players taking that, and that was a long time coming. Given how we've placed in the last 3 before that, so that was really cool to see, and hopefully we can try to duplicate that success. At the very least, if we don't, it'll be a fun time, and that's all that matters, is having fun, playing cards, and making friends. So that's it, guys. That's it for me. Until next time, keep playing Legions, and I'll be putting up a video. Either today or tomorrow. The Space Wolf card by card reboot is coming. It's coming, but we got a game update, so I got to do update news. It's got to happen. All right. Till then, talk to you later. Bye.